This is our indoor crime scene presentation, and I'm Kennedy.
I'm Charlotte.
I'm Sophia. I'm Maya.
Ah, sorry.
Okay, so the incident occurred on December 5th, 2024. It was at the GCU location, and the address is 3300 West Camelback Road, and it was at Building 57 in Jeffrey's room. We were called 45 minutes before arrival by our supervisor, Scott Rex, who had told us that it was a reported homicide. We arrived to the scene at 12:08 p.m. The case number was 2024-0066396. The victim was Toby, and the suspect was Jenny Mullen. All right, when we first entered the scene, we saw it was a square room, and to the left of the door, there was a tilted wall. The door was in the southwest corner. There was a purple chair in the northwest corner of the room, and then there's a 3-tiered brown shelf on the east wall, and then a tan shaggy rug in the middle of the room, closest to the northwest corner, and it was next to the chair. There was a headless body in the southeast corner, and the head was found across the room on the chair.
So, upon arrival, we noticed the headless body, with the body being in the southeast corner of the room and the head being in the northwest corner of the room on top of the chair. Overall photos, were taken before removing the body from the scene, and then after the medical examiner removed the body, we found that there was a phone beneath it, and then we used a grid method to look for the rest of the evidence.
So, item number 1 was the revolver. It was black and orange. The muzzle and cylinder were the part that was orange, and the brass was black. It was found by the southwest corner of the room, close to the entrance. It was collected with gloved fingers, zip tied into a box, sealed, and labeled. Evidence item number 2 was the letter. It was an angry letter on white paper. It was found upside down with the blank side up. It was found in the center of the south wall on the floor. It was collected with gloved fingers, packaged in an envelope, sealed, and labeled. So the item on the left is the revolver, and then the item on the right is the angry letter. This is what the angry letter looks like when it's flipped so that you can see the writing, but it was found upside down. Item number 3 was the bullet casing. It was a yellow bullet casing. It was found by the west wall by the entrance, on the floor by the purple chair. It was collected with gloved fingers, packaged in an envelope, sealed, and labeled. Item number 4 was the clothing. They were red shorts with little snowmen on them. They also had red liquid on it too. It was found in the center of the room by the tan rug closer to the west wall. They were kind of scrunched up. They weren't like fully flat. It was collected with gloved fingers, wrapped in butcher paper, packaged in an envelope, sealed, and labeled. That's what the bullet casing looks like on the left, and then the right is exactly how we found the clothing. Item number 5A was the red liquid swab. The red liquid was found on a gold picture frame on the floor in front of the north wall. The red liquid was found on the southwest corner of the picture frame and swabbed. It was collected with gloved fingers, dry and wet swabbed, packaged in an envelope, sealed, and labeled. Item evidence 5B was the control liquid swab. It was the red liquid found on the gold picture frame. It was the swab next to the red liquid found on the southwest corner of the picture frame, which was found on the floor in front of the north wall. It was collected with gloved fingers, dry and wet swabs, packaged in an envelope, sealed, and labeled. So this is the picture frame that was used for both. It is gold, and then it doesn't actually have a picture inside of it. Item 6 was the liquid. It was clear blue. It was found in a glass on the bottom shelf of the cabinet by the northeast corner. It was collected with gloved fingers. It was pipetted into a glass vial, then wrapped in butcher paper so that it wouldn't break or leak out of the envelope that it was then packaged in, and then it was sealed and labeled. 7A was a swab from the glass. It was taken from the brim of the glass cup, and then the glass was found at the bottom of the shelf by the northeast corner. It was collected with gloved fingers, placed into a small box, to then be packaged in a large envelope, sealed and labeled. 7B was control swab from glass. It was taken from the middle portion of the glass cup that was found on the cabinet by the northeast corner, and then collected with gloved fingers, placed in a small box to then be packaged in a large envelope, sealed and labeled. This is the glass cup. It is just a little blue liquid at the bottom. It doesn't look extremely clean, but it's not like extremely dirty either. Item 8 was the phone. It was a black Verizon Samsung phone. It was found face down under the body in the southeast corner on the floor. It was collected with gloved fingers, packaged in an envelope, sealed and labeled. Item evidence number 9 was a fingerprint. It was a latent print that was lifted from the front of the phone. The print was done with magnetic powder, brush powder, and tape lifted onto an index card. It was found in the southeast corner on the phone. And it was collected with gloved fingers. The tape lift on the index card was then packaged into an envelope, sealed, and then labeled. This is the phone. It was found face down, and this is what it looked like after the body was removed and taken out by the coroner or whoever took it out. Item number 10 was the white powder. A little pile of white powder was found in the northeast corner of the table. It was found on the top shelf of the southwest corner of the tan shelf on the east wall. It was collected with gloved fingers and placed in a paper bindle. The bindle was then packaged into a large envelope that was to be labeled and sealed. Item number 11 was the fingerprint from the glass. It was a latent print that was lifted from the middle portion of the glass cup. The print was done with magnetic brush powder and tape lifted onto an index card. It was found on the glass on the bottom shelf of the cabinet by the northeast corner wall. It was collected with gloved fingers, and then the tape lift and brush powder on the index card was packaged into an envelope and sealed and labeled. This is what the powder looked like. It was very much on the corner of the cabinet on the top shelf.
So for the photo description, I took the overall photos first, without placards, as well as the mid-range and the close-ups. And then once that was done, I did overalls, mid-range, and close-ups with scales and placards. And then this one specifically was item evidence number 2. It was laying on its front side, so we didn't know there was a note originally. But once we picked it up, we realized that there was an angry letter on the back of the paper. So I took an altered photo of that, giving it a different background and placing a scale next to it. And then this is a great card. I took this photo first. All the pictures were taken by me, and then of course the date and time, location, and case number. And then these are the overall photos. I did the overalls with placards. I put these photos in this PowerPoint just to give you guys a visual of where the evidence is and like its relationship to each other. And then this is the photo from the southwest corner. The next to it is the northwest, the northeast, and then southeast. This is the photo log. There was 42 pictures that were taken in total, and then I have it all listed on here in the order that I took the photos, and then on top was the description of the scene, just like what kind of crime scene it was, as well as the location, date, time, and agency.
This is my rough sketch. I use rectangular coordinates and then the legend shows where each object was, and this is not to scale. The point of reference I used was the north and the east wall, and I used rectangular coordinates because I think it was easier than using the triangulation in the baseline. And then for my final sketch, I made it to scale, and then I used 1 foot equals 2 centimeters. And I chose this scale because if I did 1 foot equals 1 centimeter, it would have been too small for me to fit in all the details of each evidence.
And then this is our chain of custody. So a little note for it, the phone and the phone fingerprint should have been the southeast corner of the room. And then myself, Kennedy, and Sophia packaged the items. And then for departure, we did a final walkthrough of the scene, and then there was no other evidence that we missed, and then all the equipment was gathered and taken back to the station. Our time of departure was 2:17 p.m. The evidence was then signed over to our supervisor, Scott Rex, after we left the scene. For our alternative theory, Jenny may have been under significant psychological stress leading up to the event. The stress could have clouded her judgment, potentially causing her to act irrationally. If Jenny was experiencing mental health issues, she may not have had a clear recollection of the exact sequence of events that led to Toby's death. In cases of extreme emotional distress or psychological breakdown, individuals may act impulsively and not recall their actions with complete clarity. In this scenario, Jenny may have had a history of strained interactions with Toby, with the two possibility involved in a toxic, volatile relationship that escalated into violence. A combination of psychological triggers, stress, anxiety, or even substance use could have played a role in causing her to react in a way that she did not intend, leading to Toby's death. And then for our main theory, on December 5th, 2024, police responded to a reported homicide at the GCU campus 3300 West Camelback Road, Building 57, Jeffrey's Room. The call came in 45 minutes before arrival, with Supervisor Scott Rex confirming the situation as a homicide. Upon arrival at 12:08 p.m., officers found the victim, Toby, dead from apparent violent injuries. Jenny Mollett, known to Toby, quickly became the prime suspect. The two had been involved in a strained relationship with rumors of financial disputes and personal tension between them. The investigation suggests that a confrontation escalated into violence, possibly triggered by a long-standing grievance. The scene showed signs of a struggle, indicating that Toby likely fought back. However, Jenny, either in a fit of rage or premeditation, ended up taking his life. She may have tried to cover her tracks, but the evidence pointed directly to her involvement. With the motive likely rooted in personal conflict, detectives focused on piecing together the events leading up to the murder to confirm Jenny's role in the tragic incident. And that will be the end of our presentation.